Welcome, Southern Nevada, to Hope for Today. I'm Catherine, and this is Antoinette. And we have been talking for the last couple of weeks about unveiling the mask that many people often hide behind. And, specifically, Antoinette, we've been talking about concealing one's personality, their true self. And today we're going to be talking about concealing one's character and concealing one's intentions. This is a really important show for our younger viewers who may be dating, or even our more mature viewers who might be dating as well.
That's
because even if you're 18, 22, 25, or even 65, this could apply to you. And so today, Antoinette, if we can begin our day with our prayer, and then we'll move right into talking about concealing one's intentions.
Yes, all right. All right. I'm excited to be here once again with you. And I want to say that I'm declaring today that today is a day of calmness and it's a day of peace. No matter what the storm is and circumstances that have been around us, we know that God promised us peace, that this peace surpasses all understanding. So that is my declaration today for myself as well as you.
Thank you. And I'm going to declare that today is a day of peace as well.
Yes.
The peace that surpasses understanding. And Antoinette, as we've been talking about how so many folks, men and women as well as children, hide their true identities behind a mask. And so what I'd like to talk about today is how folks who may not be wearing a mask to hide, per se, their true personality because they have issues of fear around rejection, or because they feel insecure. But I want to talk about the purposeful mask, the mask that folks wear in order to lure, if you will, a woman in or a child in to things that are not healthy for them. One of those things being human trafficking. We have so many folks, our young people, who have been victimized, okay, and deceived, where these fellows will wear a mask in order to disguise who they truly are for the purpose of actually, it breaks my heart. It leaves me speechless, Antoinette, because I have observed in our own community here in Southern Nevada where our young people are being caught up in the nightmare of sex trafficking. And when we think about sex trafficking, we don't think about how, like you had mentioned before when we were talking, that most people at home, they actually think that kids are just like, they're either kidnapped.
Right.
What they don't get is that those folks who are in the business of human trafficking, that what they are doing, Antoinette, is that they're wearing a disguise. They are masking their true personality. They are concealing their intentions, concealing their character of who they are in order to gain profit.
That's right.
Financial profit, Antoinette. And so if you can kind of share that story that we talked about on the drive out of that youngster.
Yes.
Okay. That, just so that people get this at home, our young people get this, and their parents grab a hold of this, because I'm concerned about changing times in our community and the masks that are being worn in order to victimize those who are innocent.
Yes. There's a young lady, she was in college, and she still lived at home with her parents. Although she was not happy being there with her parents because they basically kind of got on her nerves, like, nag her. She was 18, but we all know as parents, sometimes when our children are 18, they still need that parent guidance,
they do.
Yes, they do. They don't always see it that way. And so we have to be careful as well that when we are guiding our children, that we're guiding and not pushing them away. Okay, but however, this young lady really wanted to be gone, but she was in school, in college, and so there was a guy that began to watch her, began to find out that she was in school, knew all these things about her, the things that she liked, the things that she did not like. And it was a group of guys. It was not just one guy.
They were silently stalking her.
They were stalking her, yes. And they knew some people that she knew, although they were all part of the same group. And they were just getting information to find out who she was so they could lure her in. So one day she happened, all of a sudden, she's thinking she just happened to meet the greatest guy in the world driving a Mercedes at 18 years old. And she has this guy driving a Mercedes. He takes her out to dinner, wine and dine her. To make a long story short, he did that. And she began to really think that she met her, for those in God know what Ruth got a Boaz, and she got her Boaz, okay? And so he said, why don't you, you're a smart girl. You can move in with me in Washington, and you can go to school anywhere because you're smart and have the best things of life, because I'll give you the best things of life. That sounded real good to her. And so she did. She went to Washington with him. And as she went to Washington, there was other guys in the big house, and she was just happy about it. However, she was in a bad situation. Their plan was to take her to Arizona, and that her pimp at that point was which one was gonna have her. But intervention came in when she made a phone call to her cousin, and he just felt like something was wrong. So that's why I'm saying, too, as well, that God has placed people in our lives that we may not understand, but we know each other. So if I feel something's wrong, what did he do? He called her father, and he had just went to a seminar that talked about human trafficking. And he thought it was like a big old truck that just snatched you, kidnapped you, on the road. But when he found out that they wine and dine these ladies and, say all the good things, he sensed that his daughter was in trouble. And he called the police department, and they actually intervened, and they were able to get her and recover her before she actually made it to Arizona. And she's now going everywhere, telling her story and, making a plan of prevention for other young girls.
I'd like to get her to come on our show.
That would be great.
And so we need to look into that and follow up on that for her to give her own testimony, because we can share about and caution young ladies at home. And they are not always going to listen. Just like this young lady that you're talking about, when she began her journey, and she was initially resistant, and defensive. What do you mean? These people truly care about me. And this is called grooming. So these men will actually groom our young ladies. And what they do is they buy you things, they say the right things, and like Antoinette was sharing, they will stalk you and silently. So it's not like they're trying to do creepy things. Okay, but they get to know who you are, your personality, and the way that you react, the way that you respond. I was at a seminar, Antoinette, last fall, and on human trafficking. And the example that was provided by the therapist was something very similar, where a young gal was at the mall, 14 years old, first time that she got to go over to the mall. I'm just going to randomly say Meadows. I'm not saying that it was Meadows Mall, but over at the mall, and her and her friend are all excited because it's their first time that they got to go to the mall. And while they were at the mall, these two young guys, they were in that place where they eat, the food court. And these folks, they started to flirt with them. And of course, the girls just thought, oh my God, they're so cute. Well, they lied about their age, and so did the guys. So the next thing you know, this fella, he's in his 20s, he's whining and he's dining her and he's buying her all of these things. She was from a home that was not broken. So many folks at home think that if a girl is caught up in sex trafficking, that she must come from a broken home. This is a myth. This is not a reality of what's happening with our young girls. These are young girls, like it could be your daughter, my daughter. It could be your daughter, folks, at home. It could be your granddaughter. And these are straight A students, A-B students, as well as the C and D students. There is no, thing that says that this is a promiscuous girl. Now, this young lady that I'm talking about was a virgin. And so this man had disguised himself. He wore a mask. He lied about who he is and his intentions for the gain of profit. And what he did is he groomed her to where she fell in love with him. And when you're 14 and you have a man who's buying you flowers, buying you clothes, taking you out to dinner, telling you how beautiful you are, and telling you all of these amazing things, it makes you feel like, woo! And what do you know? Because you don't have anything to compare it to, you think it's the real deal. Mm-hmm. And so in this particular story, she ended up leaving her parental home. Now, mind you, this was not a broken home. There was not a home of conflict. But he had said, those high rises down on the strip,
yes,
got her to move in with him. And like the story that you shared, there were other men there. And gradually, he got her virginity. And then she trusted him, and then he gradually started to introduce, well, I want you to party with me and my friends, and let's have a threesome, and then it was a foursome, and then he started to break her spirit. And this is where that comes from, to where these girls get trapped, and then they put on a mask in order to cope with the painful reality of what is happening to them, which is an atrocity. And this is something that is live and well, Las Vegas, Pahrump, Southern Nevada. And those of you who are viewing via YouTube, this is alive in our community. And we need to do something to bring a stop to protecting our young girls from those who wear a mask in order to lure them in to a life of hell. And, where do we begin? It's such a huge, huge issue that if you are caught in a relationship where you are listening today and somebody has lured you in, please contact Hope Counseling today at 702-437-4673. Again, that number is 702-437-4673. That stands for Her Hope. Call us today. We'll be right back.
Hope Counseling Services, where healing begins. Do you suffer from depression, anxiety, trauma, or have you experienced a major life change and are having difficulty coping? Are you or a loved one struggling to get out of the bed, having mood swings or difficulty managing your anger? At Hope Counseling, we have a compassionate team of professionals who strive to help you overcome the challenges associated with these painful emotions. Our mission is to bring healing to those impacted by a traumatic life event. Whether you are a victim of rape, domestic violence, child abuse, experiencing significant or terminal illness, have lost a loved one, or are struggling with a painful past. Call our office today to speak with a counselor and learn about the many programs we may be able to offer you. At Hope Counseling, if transportation is a barrier, we will come to you. Be encouraged and know, help is only a phone call away. Call the Las Vegas office at 702-437-4673.
Welcome back, Southern Nevada, to Hope for Today. I'm Catherine, and this is Antoinette. And we are talking about a very delicate subject of human trafficking, specifically sex trafficking of our minors here in Southern Nevada. And we're talking about the mask that the men wear who lure these women into a lifestyle of hell. And so, Antoinette, I know that you yourself, have worked with women who have gone through, domestic violence, and who have been victimized even within the church. And when people think about that mask of how, these folks, they are criminals. okay? And they wear this mask in order to disguise who they are for the purpose of some type of profit. And so they disguise their character, they disguise their true intentions. And we've seen this type of thing with law officers, some of which who may actually have had a deviant mind, if you will, and then they put the mask on and they end up involved in police brutality because there was that deviant part within them. And the mask that they wore was the uniform. And then we see in the church, okay, where there have been priests who end up wearing a mask to hide the illness of being a pedophile, where they sexually assault children. And so this mask that these men wear with regards to whether it's law enforcement, and I'm not saying all police officers, the majority of police officers, we thank you for your service, we thank you for protecting our communities, and we thank you that, you know, the majority, they are who they are. They are here to serve and to protect. But for the few who hide behind the mask, and for those of you who may be viewing and you know, something speaking to you that you're wearing a mask that you don't want to wear anymore. You don't want to deviate. You don't want to trap these young girls in this lifestyle, and you don't know how to break away. Reach out and talk to your local minister. Reach out and talk to someone. But don't continue to engage in that lifestyle if you're getting that message that, hey, this is not right. Because guess what? It's not. It's not ever okay. And like the young lady that I was telling you about who got entrapped, Antoinette, into this lifestyle of human trafficking. I kind of got sidebarred with, you know, some other types of things I was thinking about of their mask of deviance that are worn. But when I think about this gal who was wined and dined, and what ended up happening is her spirit was broken, Antoinette. And as they continued to repeatedly gang rape her, let's call a spade, you know, after she was promised the sun and the moon and the stars, what happens is it's difficult for these girls to break away. They have now worn a mask in order to protect themselves, Antoinette, and they think that's who they are. And I want to challenge you, if that is you listening today, and you have been trapped in a lifestyle of sex trafficking, you are a victim. And beneath that mask is beauty. You are a precious, priceless gift, not some toy to be tinkered with. And as you peel back the layer, know that your true beauty is priceless. You are a gift. Reach out and call someone today. Don't be afraid to call your parents. Don't think that your parents are going to think less of you because you're priceless and they love you. They love you unconditionally. And parents, if your daughter has gotten caught up, don't shame her and don't blame her, but see this as victimization. This is not something that your daughter looked to do. So I ask you and I beg of you to show mercy and to welcome your kids, your daughters, back into your home and to seek help and not to try to conquer this by yourself. Antoinette, if you can impart something, you know, to our parents who have children caught up in this lifestyle, what would you share with them?
Yes, I would say, parents, look to the Lord for strength to watch for the indicators. Watch for the signs. They're always there. But a lot of times as parents, we don't want to see certain things when it comes to our children. Everyone else may see it, but not us because we're blinded. So I say take off the blinders and pay attention. Look at the indicators and know that as long as they're there with you and you see what you see, if you don't know what to do, reach out for help. It's not like it used to be in the day where there was nowhere to go. We are here. There's Hope Counseling Services. There's other agencies that are there to intervene and to to give you things to do. But you have to look at the warning signs. You have to look at the pattern. Is your daughters coming home later now? Are they hanging out with friends that you never heard names before? Are they wearing new clothes? Now they're wearing makeup. Now they have jewelry. Pay attention. And my prayer is that God will give you the strength that you need to put a shelter around your loved ones and your daughters, that they will not be entangled and ensnared by the enemy, because you, mother, you, father, you are the watchman on the wall.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know what, Antoinette, I thank you so much for imparting that to them, because you know, when with parents, okay, you know, you always want your kids to do better. Yes. So when you see this young man that's coming in and who's respectful of you, and you know, and I'm not saying that every man that you know your daughter brings home, every boyfriend is going to be luring your kid, but you have to pay attention to the signs. And so if your daughter is starting to give up her friends, and your daughter is like you said, starting to wear makeup, and every other day she's got a dozen roses, you better think twice about what kind of boyfriend brings a 14-year-old roses every other week, or buys her jewelry, or buys her a car, or new clothing, as you said, yes, or gives her money. That's not normal, people. Right. It's not normal. Right. And we've got to open up our eyes. And I know that we want our children to do better than us, but at what cost? Yes. What cost? And if you miss this, then you risk the safety of your child.
Yes.
And you know what? Yes. At 14, at 16, she's not 26.
Right.
Although it can happen when you're 26.
Right.
But this is happening with our teenagers.
Yes.
With our teen girls.
Yes.
And it's happening right here in Prump, and it's happening in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And we have got, as a community, it takes a village to raise a child, and we have to say, no, enough is enough. Yes. We will stand in the gap for our girls,
yes,
for our kids,
yes,
and we will raise the banner, and we will stop this from happening in our communities. Yes, but the only way that we can do it is if we work together collectively to be able to be a voice, because I'll tell you what, Antoinette, these kids, they lose their voice. So even though that child may have been straight A's, that child might have been, you know, the cheerleader squad, and if you see your girls giving up their hopes, their dreams, of things that they've talked about that they want to do, that's a red flag. And like you said, coupled with not coming home at night, you know, or now all of a sudden I'm really excited, and then now I'm crying, and there's this influx of emotion. Yes. We have got to pay attention to that.
Yes, yes. And Catherine, a lot of times it's difficult to pay attention when you're not sure what's going on. You know, you're not sure, and you're scared to talk to someone because it's about your child. We guard our children more so than we guard ourselves. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying that if you don't have anyone personally that you can call, seek out an agency, or call the prayer line. You know, the prayer line that we have. Call the prayer line. There will be
that number.
Yes, that number is 702-706-4902. 702, I forgot the number, 706-4902. I'm sorry about that.
It's going to be going across the screen. It's going to say Hope Counseling Services, and it's going to say the prayer line.
Yes.
Call either number, because we really want to be able to be there to support you as you support your kids.
Yes.
And to be able to link you with the proper supports. If there's something we might not be able to provide, then we want to make sure that we get them linked, Antoinette.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I want to say, you know, although we're talking about young girls, I don't want older women to be fooled by this either.
That's right.
Because there's women in their 50s and 60s and 70s that have old men that are deceitful and wearing a mask, and for different motives of why they're interested.
Yes.
And I believe this, that when you get a certain age, you too old for somebody to be playing with your heart. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, yeah. And,
absolutely.
I believe that, you know, and so women, even as you're seasoned women, you are precious to God. You're still here because God has something for you to do. Don't let someone come in and deceive you, because you know you put your guard down because you're thinking of their age.
That's right.
Like the girl that we met, you know, that the
Yes.
man acted like he was a doctor.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And so sometimes with our older folks, and even
Yes.
folks my age, you
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
I'm kind of older too. I'm in the middle. Oh, midlife crisis. But we'll be deceived as well. These folks will wear a mask
Yes.
and they'll steal all your money, you know, or they'll hurt your children. Things happen, Antoinette, and what things aren't always as they appear to be. And I want to kind of, as we get ready to part, no man for any considerable period can wear one face to himself and another to the multitude without finally getting bewildered as to which one may be true. And so this comes from Nathaniel Hawthorne. So we shout out, thank you, Nathaniel. And the book is The Scarlet Letter. And when you hear that, we got about 20 seconds left, Antoinette. What comes to mind?
Yes. Say that again.
No man for any considerable period can wear one face to himself and another to the multitude.
Yes. Wow.
That's powerful
Wow.
stuff.
Yes.
You're
it is.
gonna pick up on that next time, Antoinette. I'm
Okay.
gonna pick your brain. I thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time.